I'm curious, take me through the last 24 hours. Was there any added trepidation for you or any concern that this might not happen?
It was certainly an interesting 24 hours, one that was unexpected. But to answer your question, no. It's kind of a blessing that we're able to find this issue. It was an issue from the season. We can fix it in March, and I won't miss any football. So I'm extremely excited to be a New York Giant, and I feel like it's a blessing that I'm able to deal with it now in March and not be a New York Giant and something that we deal with during the season. So like anything in life, I attack it head on, and I'll attack this rehab process head on, and look forward to being out there with my teammates when we start playing football.
How much of a relief was it for you that they stuck with everything you guys agreed to, given everything that just went down, that you found what they found in the medical?
Oh, well, there's a reason why I came here, and the reason, one of the many reasons, is because of the way this organization is run from the top down. And I couldn't, like I said, I couldn't be more excited to be a New York Giant, to be a part of this team, be a part of this locker room, and be a part of this community.
Zach Rosenblatt, NJ.com. Hey Kyle, how's it going?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. You have spent your whole entire career with the Vikings. So how strange was it when you hit free agency and kind of had to think about your future, and then how hard was it to decide ultimately where you were going to go?
The hardest thing for me was to quit referring to the Vikings as we and our. I kept catching myself saying we and our, and I was no longer a Minnesota Viking. I've actually done it a couple of times today as well, and it certainly was different being a free agent. But for me, going through the free agency process, each and every day were new updates, new teams, new opportunities. And I remember telling my wife, we were sitting at lunch in Minnesota with our 2-year-old son, and I just got off the phone with Coach Judge and Coach Garrett. And, at that point, there were 12, 13 different options. And I knew New York was the place that I needed to be. This was the team, this was the organization that we needed to go to next. It was just, like I said, as soon as I hung up the phone, I knew this was the perfect fit.
And just to quickly follow up, when people look at your stats, obviously they see the last 2 years, compared to when you made the Pro Bowl a couple of years before that. What do you say to why maybe the numbers look down compared to what people got used to in your career, I guess?
Well, it's simple. You can just look at my role and what I was asked to do. Just turn on the tape and watch what I was doing. A silver lining to that is, you look at the first 8 years of my career, I was really only known as a pass catcher. And I've played with a couple really good running backs in my time in Minnesota, with Adrian Peterson and Dalvin Cook most recently. And with my role changing over the last couple years, it wasn't that I couldn't run around and catch balls anymore. I was just doing more of the blocking stuff. And I'm extremely competitive, and it forced me to go one of two ways. I could either have complained about it, or I could have taken it as a challenge to improve that aspect of my game. And, it was funny going throughout the free agency process and getting feedback from teams and hearing how good of a blocker they thought I was. That was just so foreign to me, because my whole life blocking was something that I really had to work on and never did well. And now, over the last 2 years, I've been able to improve that aspect of my game, and certainly looking forward to bringing that aspect of my game here to the New York Giants, now playing with another phenomenal running back in Saquon.
Just getting back to the foot a little bit, is this the same issue that caused you to miss 4 games last year? Did you have some kind of surgery on this before? Was it a Liz Frank situation? Is this new, or is this something different?
No, this is 100% what happened during the season that caused me to miss the last 4 games of the season. It was just everyone expected to heal on its own, and it didn't. It needs to be fixed. And like I said, I'm just extremely grateful for the Giants medical staff, Dr. Rodeo, everyone that was involved in the process, and I'm excited to get it fixed and move past it.
What do they have to do, and what do they tell you about the timeline? Is this going to be like training camp, after training camp? What's the deal with that?
No, I'm not expecting to miss any football. And like I said, I'm extremely excited when we do start playing football to be out there with my teammates.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet, Paul.
Tom Rock, Newsday.
Kyle, you talked about the different roles you played in Minnesota. What role do you expect to play here, and how do you expect to fit in with Evan?
I'm looking forward to being able to bring both of those aspects. Like I said, being able to improve my run game, pass protection over the last couple of years, but knowing that I can certainly still help a football team, whether it be on first and second down, third downs in the red zone. And I really look forward to working with Evan. I think we can complement each other very, very well. Obviously, he does things that I can't even imagine of doing. And then you look throughout the rest of our room, with Caden and Levine and everybody in that we have 4 guys that can really go out and play at a high level. And I think it allows your offense to really put defenses in tough situations when you can put multiple tight ends on the field. It really allows us to dictate how the game's going to go. And then, I'm not even going to mention all the playmakers in the receiver room. There's just so many opportunities for this offense to go out and put pressure on defenses. I'm looking forward to being a part of it.
Kyle, I know you said that you don't anticipate missing any football, but obviously, you have to take it as it comes. With that said, it's a new system, and even though you're a veteran and you've been around for a number of years, what can you do to kind of prep yourself for when you do hit that field, you're not missing any kind of a beat?
Well, fortunately, my experience in Minnesota in 10 years, I played with 2 defensive head coaches. So that meant I had a lot of systems on offense that I learned over those 10 years. So I'm very familiar with learning new offenses, learning new systems, learning how I fit into that system and what I can bring to that system. So this will be my 6th offensive coordinator in 6 years. So I've certainly learned how to work with play callers and how to learn new systems. But as I mentioned before, getting off the phone with Coach Garrett, I'm extremely excited to be in this system. He obviously had an unbelievable track record with a tight end at a team that I don't think we mention around this place anymore, so we won't even talk about them. But he had a pretty good tight end down there for a long time, and I'm just excited to be on this organization and in this system.
You've always been a guy who scores touchdowns, a red zone threat, college, pros, whatever. What does it take to punch the ball into the end zone? What do you do so well to help your team score touchdowns, and how can you help the Giants do that?
Well, I think, you just look at the red zone objectively. The field is condensed. There's smaller windows, tighter throws. But I think one of the things that has helped me throughout my career is, making contested catches. You're not going to get a guy, to schematically to come wide open in the red zone. You don't see it very often. From time to time you may, but most of the time red zone scoring is, bang bang passes, and it takes trust from a quarterback that, hey, I can throw this ball into a tight window and I know that either Kyle's going to catch it or no one's going to catch it. And I've really just tried to pride myself on when a quarterback believes in me and trusts me to throw a ball into a contested area, that he knows either I'm going to get it or nobody's going to get it. And hopefully more times than not, I'm getting it and we're scoring touchdowns. And I think my basketball background has certainly helped me a ton in that aspect of my game because, it's really no different than going up and getting a rebound off the glass. And I tell people, you look at the red zone, there may not be horizontal separation. You may not see guys running wide open, but an advantage that I often have in times is vertical separation. So throw the ball up in the air where I can get it, and a DB or a linebacker that's covering me may not be able to.
Thanks.
Last one here, Tom Rock.
Yeah, Kyle, I just wanted to follow up on the surgery. What's the timeline for having it? Are you gonna have it in New York here? Are you gonna go back home?
I'm having it as soon as possible, and those are still details that we're working through. But like I said, having it as soon as possible, and I'm looking forward to getting back out on the field with my teammates.